My name is Alyssa Hunt. I lead our employer engagement function here at the FAU Career Center. So thanks for joining us for this employer training session on our virtual career fair platform, Premier Virtual. Also on the call with us is Madison. She is a coordinator on the EE team here and also someone you all have probably been in conversation with, at least via email, about the fairs that are upcoming. I do apologize in advance. I am working from home, and so you may hear a beagle or Great Dane bark in the background. I will try to keep them out of the room, but it is difficult. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. You are all here because you have registered for a career fair in Handshake to attend at FAU. And so the next step is learning our virtual career fair platform, which is called Premier Virtual. Premier Virtual is a professional career fair platform. It is, the CEO of that platform does happen to be an FAU alumni. So that was exciting for us when we were looking for platforms to host our fairs on when we went into this virtual environment. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen and kind of walk you through what it looks like from the employer side. You can stop me at any point and ask questions, or you can place them in the chat and Madison will stop me and ask questions. So here we go. All right, so the screen you are seeing in front of you now is the employer registration page for Premier Virtual. So you all received a link to register for your respective career fair. I'm going to use the FAU Virtual Career Expo as an example, which we did happen to host yesterday. So when you click on the link that you received, you will either select to register or log in to the career fair. The difference is if you have participated in a virtual career fair with Premier Virtual before, whether it was with FAU or another school, you don't have to actually build a whole nother booth. You can just connect your already existing booth to the FAU platform. So all you would have to do in that case is select log in and put in your already created username and password with Premier Virtual. And you will automatically be connected to the FAU career fair that we're hosting in Premier Virtual. If you are brand new to the platform and you have never been participated in a fair in Premier Virtual before, then you will select the register button. When you select register, it will ask you to type in your email address. So you can go ahead and type that in. And the next is going to ask you to create a password. This is a password that you are creating. We have not sent it to you prior, so you can go ahead and select whatever works best for you. Once you do that, it's going to transport you into an automated page where you'll fill in your first name, last name, and some contact information. However, you have not created your entire booth yet. It's just the beginning. You will need to log into the platform to continue creating your booth. So when you do log into the platform, what you'll see is your employer dashboard. This will be the first page that comes up. And there are 6 sections on the employer dashboard. The one that is going to be the most important to you is this profile section. This is where you're actually going to build out your virtual booth. So you will select profile, and then you have the option to edit your booth, edit or edit booth. The edit button is for your content. So you want to select edit first, and this is the information you will have already put in when you registered, but you will want to add the rest of the details that you would want students to know about. So you will have the ability to put in an organizational overview. You will have the ability to add custom links. We recommend your website or your careers website. In addition, you will have the ability to add your social media links. We suggest putting in as many as possible. Students, especially our Gen Z population, really love to explore companies via social media platforms. They like to see what you're doing day to day. They like to see what you're involved in. And so this has been a really big hit with students. Once you fill out the rest of your booth, you can then hit save and you will be done. You will also want to make sure to upload a company logo. So you can do that here in the top left of your screen. You can see our FAU logo is here, but if you select this button, you will be able to upload your own company logo. This is important because the way that the students see the fair is that when they enter the fair, they look at what is basically a Jeopardy screen. And on that screen in the little boxes are industries. So business, engineering, computer science. And these are industries that you will self-select to put yourself in within the Premier Virtual platform. Once the student clicks on an industry, so say I'm a business student, I'm looking for a role in the business industry, I select business, I'm then transported to another screen where I see all of the company logos that are going to be within the industry business or hiring in the industry business. And then I can select a company logo and I am transported into the company's 3D booth. And this is what your 3D booth looks like for the student. All right, I'm going to pause there and see if we have any questions so far. And please feel free to unmute yourself if you have one.
Hey, this is Fern. I actually just put my question in the chat, but if we recently used Premier Virtual for another school, all of this is already, it carries over, correct? So when I log in, my stuff is already there.
Correct. The only thing, Fern, that you're going to need to do is go into your job vacancies and make sure that you add our event to each of your jobs. And I'll show you how to do that in a second.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions so far? Okay. So this is what your virtual booth looks like, but you actually have options. So if you click this little pencil down in the right-hand corner, it will bring up all of the booth options that you have, and each booth has a different avatar. So you can select to look like you're at a trade show. You can select to look like you're in an office. It's up to you, whatever you would like. Each of them have the same features though. Your organizational bio is going to show up. Your website links are going to show up. Your logo will show up at the top, and you will also have your social media links. Your job vacancies, we don't have any posted, but if you do have job vacancies posted, they will show up under the organizational bio button. So there would be another button here that would be, say, job vacancies that students would be able to click on. And then additionally, because this fair is not live, it's not here, but normally there would be a green chat button over on the right-hand side. This is the button students use to go ahead and chat you, to start like the text chat with you during the fair. So this is what your virtual booth looks like. And this, in this edit button, you can change the way that your virtual booth looks. I'm going to pause there for questions. Yes.
Hi, it's Eileen. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Since we did this last semester, is this event added to our jobs already?
No, so you need to use the link that we sent you.
So everyone has to do that.
Whether you've already hosted participated in an event with Premier Virtual or you're brand new, you have to click on the link. If you're brand new, you hit the register button. If you already have a booth created from a past fair, you only need to select log in. But that when you put in your username and password and you log in, it'll automatically connect you to this new fair. But you do have to log in using that link I sent you.
And you have to add this event to each of our jobs.
And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second.
Oh, okay. And also, did we have a choice of all these different backgrounds the first time?
You did not. So this is brand new with Premier Virtual. So Premier Virtual is going through a round of, they're going through a round of changes. They're actually looking to come out with a 2.0 version in March, which is super exciting because it's going to have a lot of features that this platform doesn't currently have. But they did launch a few of their 2.0 options early. The first is this ability to change booths. And the second, which is really excited, is there's now an internal video option within Premier Virtual. So you no longer have to add an external video link. Eileen, I'm sure you remember last semester you had to either use Zoom or Google Meets or some other. You no longer have to do that. Video is built into the system now. So there's just an icon that you select, and every recruiter you have for your booth will have their own video so they can one-on-one video chat with students. And I will show you where that is.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions before I move on?
Thank you.
Alyssa, this is Fern again, and I'm so sorry. I have a Beta Alpha Psi meeting at 4:30. So I have two really quick questions that, hopefully you can answer. When you are in the chat, and everybody, at least I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing. Like all of my recruiters that were part of the event could see every single chat that was going on. What does it mean? There's sometimes a name is blinking and then there's all these different beeps, but I'm not getting a message. What are those blinks and beeps? Do you know?
Yeah, so the blinking and the beep means that the student has sent.
Or did I just stump you?
No, I know. So the blinking and the beeping, it means that a student has sent a message to one of your recruiters. If you're not getting that message, it went to a different recruiter. The way there is an option that you can see only your chats. You don't have to view all of your recruiters' chats. So it actually, if you look under the visitors tab, there's a little bubble and it says show my chats only. And if you select that, you'll only see your conversations with students. You won't see everyone else's.
Okay, that really was in the last career fair that I just recently did, that wasn't working. We could still all see each other, but it was fine because if we had to switch over to Teams for something, we could tag team in on a candidate. And then my other question is when you're adding the recruiter into the field, and it asks you for the recruiter's first name, last name, and then email. Is there a way to put in what their title is so they know if they're that they go to talk to somebody who's audit, that they're picking an audit person, and if they want tax, they're picking a tax person?
So there's not a field for title, but you could always, we've recommended putting a comma after your last name and putting the title there. Fern, are you still there?
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm going to drop off, but I look forward to the event.
Of course. Thanks for being here. Okay, any other questions before I move on?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Any other questions before I move on?
Hi, yes, this is Orianne with Coughlin Ross, and I do have a quick question that I'm a bit embarrassed to ask, but yes, can you hear me? Hello? Hi, yes. I'm just wondering where we received this link. I got the email from you to RSVP to the email to attend this training, but I don't see a link directly from FAU, and if I go to Premier Virtual, there's only the option to sign in.
Yeah, so we sent out the link a few days ago to all companies who had registered and paid for the event. So if you've paid within the last 2 days, you probably haven't received the link yet, but you will receive it later today or tomorrow morning. We've ran 2 career fairs earlier this week, so we haven't been able to get the link out. Yeah, but you should receive it.
Okay, just making sure I'm not going crazy. Perfect, thank you.
No problem. All right, any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna navigate.
Question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you're saying the fair that was yesterday, we would not have seen this type of background, or?
No, the fair that was yesterday, you would have seen these backgrounds. You had these options.
Okay.
Last semester, there were not these options for virtual backgrounds.
Gotcha. Okay, well, now I'm embarrassed. I definitely did not do something correct yesterday when I was in that fair. But I'm happy.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next part of the dashboard and then I will pause again for questions. So we went over the profile section. This is again where you build your booth and edit your booth views so that you can see different options. The next part that is going to be really important is being able to add all of your recruiters. So that is going to be found here under the recruiters tab. Once you click on recruiters, you will see an add recruiter button at the top right-hand side. If you select that, you will be able to put in the recruiter's first name, last name, and this is what you create for them. You are creating for your recruiters an email address and a password. You have to send this to your recruiters. Premier Virtual is not going to send it for you. So please make sure that they have this information. It is really important to add each recruiter to the event separately so that when you are in the chat function, you are able to see what recruiter is talking to what student so that you're not talking to the same student. If you all log in as the admin, you'll all show up as the admin and you won't know who's talking to who. So it is really important to have your recruiters here. In addition to that, each recruiter can upload their own photo and they can also create pre-fabbed messages. So think about things that you might be saying to students a lot, like a welcome message, or maybe the link to your website, or maybe you have a portion of a job description you think you're going to be chatting about a lot. You can pre-create those here in messages, and then you'll be able to directly send those with just a click of a button during the fair instead of having to type all those messages out to every student. So this is where you build your recruiters. They can upload their own photo and add their own messages as long as you create them a username and password and send it to them. So you don't have to do it all, but you do have to do these top 4 boxes for them. Any questions about recruiters?
Alyssa?
Yes.
Hey, this is Julie from Templeton.
Yes.
Hi, Julie. What's your question?
Go ahead, Julie.
Julie from Templeton. I set this up the other day. Do we send them the link for the main page of this and with this is your email, this is your password, and then they just log in?
Correct.
Is that what we need to do? Okay.
Correct.
That was my question.
Mm-hmm. And Eileen, it sounded like you also had a question.
Okay.
Yes. So if I have some of the same recruiters, I assume they don't have to reset up their profile. And what about their little templates, their prefabricated messages? Will those still be there too?
Yes, if your recruiters are already in the system from last semester, they don't have to change a thing. Their username and passwords will still work. All their prefab messages and pictures will be there. It would only be new recruiters that you would want to add.
Great.
Okay. Any other questions about recruiters? Okay, I'm going to navigate back to the dashboard. The dashboard is really going to be your homepage where you can get to everything. So from the dashboard, the other part of your booth that you're going to want to build out is your job vacancies section. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your job vacancies here so that students can drop their resumes to you. At the end of the event, you will be able to export all student resumes and also a student contact list for anyone who visited your booth during the fair. So to add a job vacancy, you just select job vacancies and add job. Here is where you need to make sure your event is selected. So Eileen, when you log in and you are adding your booth to this accounting spring fair, you need to make sure that this one is selected underneath all of your jobs. All you have to enter for jobs is a job title. You can add the city if you want, the number of jobs, and then a job description. So you can copy and paste from job postings that you might already have in Handshake or on other platforms. Any questions about job vacancies? Okay, navigating back to the dashboard then. On the day of the event, when you can use the same link I sent out to you in the email and you click on that and you just select login from the employer page and you will navigate to my events. You will select my events and you're going to pick your fair. So you would want to go into the Accounting Summer Leadership Internship Career Fair Spring 2021, and you would just select enter booth. Now, please keep in mind the booth will not open until the fair starts. So the accounting one starts at 9 a.m. if that's what you're here for. The STEM one, if you're here for that, starts at 10 a.m. So just make sure that you are not trying to log in too early because the booth won't open. All you have to do though is select enter booth. I'm going to go to one we already used. And here you will see, this is the screen you will see day of fair. So you do not get the 3D booth look. That's for the student. You guys get the back end system. When a student enters your booth, they will pop into the visitors column. I recommend chatting every student who pops into your visitors column a welcome message. Once you start messaging with that student, they will pop into the messages column. They will stay in the visitors column only as long as they are in your booth, but if they leave your booth, they will disappear from the visitors column. However, if you've already started a chat with them, they will stay in your messages column forever. Once they are in your messages column, you can click on them and you can, their resume will pop up in this gray field over here. So you are able to see their resume, read a little bit about them before you really start your conversation. This is where the right here where you see Melanie is where the recruiter's name will show up so that you can see which recruiters are talking to which students. So here you see Melanie, here you see career, which is our main career. So you can tell who's talking to whom. Here's the show only my chats button that you can select. I wasn't at this event, so I'm not going to have any chats here. But you can make it so that you will only see the students you are chatting with, or if you want to monitor who all your recruiters are chatting with, you can do that as well. And then this box over here is where your actual conversation is. So if I select a different student, my conversation with that student would pull up and I would be able to talk. Your predefined messages will show up in this box up here. So all you have to do is click the drop down arrow and select a predefined message. It will automatically send to a student. You cannot edit the predefined message before it sends. So please note that. And then the last function is if you would like to video chat a student. So say you're having a great one-on-one conversation via text and you want to start the video face-to-face, you can select this little video icon and it will send the student a message that you are asking to video with them. Students cannot request to video with you. You can only request to video with students. Students do, however, have the ability to chat you at any time.
Alyssa,
and so this is what the video looks
icon?
like. It's
okay. But where was the icon? I didn't.
It's right here in the top right of the screen. This little video, the blue video.
Oh, it's cut off on my screen.
It might be cut off. Okay. I can't make it smaller. It won't show up, but it is. It's right under predefined messages, Eileen, on the right-hand side. At the top of the chat.
Oh, I see. You know what? All our faces are covering it. So I just moved our faces.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have your faces at the bottom of the screen so I can see it. Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
I got it now. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. So I know I gave you a lot of information with this page. What questions do you have about day of fair or chatting with students? Madison, any questions in the chat?
When people apply, they apply on this site?
Correct.
Alyssa, so when people apply for jobs, they apply on this site?
Correct, Eileen, yes.
And then you have, I think, a week to save it or something. Can you remind us about that?
You have 30 days. I'm going to show you that now. So if you navigate back to your dashboard, so think about, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, this is Julie from Templeton. Is this at all connected through Handshake? Because I did make sure our jobs are also posted on Handshake.
Unfortunately, it's not. I really wish that it was.
Okay. Okay. Is it okay if we direct people like, hey, our jobs are on Handshake?
If that's what works for you, that's fine. Just know that if you don't have job vacancies posted in the platform, students will not be able to leave you their resume.
Got it. We did post them. I just wanted to
Oh,
make
okay.
sure. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
No problem. Okay, so the day after the event or later that afternoon, if you are going to do it and you want to pull all of the reports from the day of and get all of your resumes from students who visited your booth, you're going to navigate to your job seekers button. So you select job seekers and you have 3 reports that you can pull. The first is submitted resumes. So this is the Career Center booth. So we don't take any submitted resumes. So nothing is going to show up. But you normally would be able to view all your submitted resumes, and you do have the ability to export them to an applicant tracking system. The other thing you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to see all of your visitors. You'll be able to see the phone number and email address of any visitors. You will also be able to click on their resume, see the chat log. And this one is view and add notes. Your recruiters can leave notes on people within the platform if they'd like. So this information you can also export, and it exports into an Excel document for you. And then the last thing you can pull are your chat conversations with students. So you can actually download the chat conversation you had with any given student. Say there was one that really stood out, you want to pull the conversation to share with somebody else. You have the ability to do that. So this is where you would come to get all of your data for the event afterwards. And you have 30 days to do that. It's so you have a whole month after the event to pull any of your data. Any questions about that information? All right, from your dashboard, you also have an FAQ and training section. So if you do have any questions, there's a great video here that does an overview of the platform. You're welcome to, it's on YouTube, so you're welcome to share it with other employees that may be using the platform or rewatch it yourself if you'd like. There are some like FAQs and best practices and some information on like the internal chat that a lot of questions have been asked about. So, you know, feel free to browse through this. It might help you or anyone who wasn't able to attend the training answer some questions. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and ask if there are any other questions that anyone has at this time about Premier Virtual.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
It's Eileen. Alyssa, could you send us a link to that training video so that we could send it to our reps?
Yeah, I can send you the link. You can also pull the link right from your dashboard. But I'll send it over to you, Eileen.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Any other? Oh,
well,
I'm so sorry.
It's right there. You don't have to.
Oh, I don't mind. Any other questions about Premier Virtual?
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you all for attending the training.